Hello, book enthusiasts, and welcome to Listen with Best Audiobooks. All our audiobooks are originally written, produced, and narrated by us. We don't reuse or repurpose third-party content. Every script, voice, and edit is made exclusively for this channel. Our goal is to deliver authentic, educational, and inspiring audiobooks that you can truly enjoy. Now, sit back, relax, and let's begin today's audiobook.
What if the way you think about learning, mistakes, and your own ability could determine your entire future? What if success wasn't just about talent or intelligence? What if the biggest difference between people who keep growing and people who stay stuck came down to one simple thing: mindset? The two mindsets that shape your life. There are two types of mindsets: fixed mindset and growth mindset. This idea was made popular by Dr. Carol Dweck, a psychologist who studied how children learned. She noticed something powerful. Some kids believed they were either smart or not smart, and if they failed, it meant they weren't good enough. Others believed that even if they weren't good at something, they could get better if they kept trying. The first group had a fixed mindset. The second group had a growth mindset. But this isn't just about kids. This shows up in everyone, in how you respond to feedback, in how you deal with challenges, in whether you keep going or give up. What is a fixed mindset? A fixed mindset says, I'm just not good at math. I've never been creative. I'm not a people person. I'll never change. A person with a fixed mindset believes their abilities are permanent. That talent is everything. That success belongs to the gifted. And that failure means they're not enough. When you have a fixed mindset, you avoid hard things. You fear failure. You stop trying when things don't go your way. You compare yourself constantly. You stay stuck. This mindset keeps people small, because if you believe you're either born with it or you're not, why try? What is a growth mindset? A growth mindset says, I'm not great at this yet. I can improve with practice. Mistakes help me learn. Every expert was once a beginner. This mindset understands that skills are built, that intelligence can grow, that failure is part of success, that effort is never wasted. People with a growth mindset try new things, ask questions, don't give up easily, learn from setbacks, believe in their ability to improve. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to keep showing up. And over time, that mindset changes everything. The real power behind growth. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to have the best background. You don't need to have it all figured out. What you need is the belief that you can get better and the willingness to keep going, even when it's tough. Growth isn't about being born great. It's about choosing to grow again and again. It's about being okay with being a beginner, about being brave enough to be bad at something first. The greatest athletes, artists, creators, and thinkers all started out unsure, but they didn't stop. They believed they could improve. So they did. And that same power lives in you. How your mindset shows up in daily life. Let's say you try something new and fail. With a fixed mindset, you might say, I'm terrible at this. I'll never get it. And you quit. With a growth mindset, you say, this is harder than I thought, but if I keep practicing, I'll figure it out. One mindset shuts down. The other one opens the door to progress. Same event, different response, different result. Now think about, how do you respond to criticism? Do you take it personally or use it to improve? Do you avoid hard things or lean into them? Do you compare yourself to others or focus on your own journey? These are all signs of your mindset in action. And the good news, mindset is not permanent. You can change it starting today. Where mindset comes from, your mindset isn't something you're born with. It's shaped by your experiences, by the things people told you, by how your parents, teachers, or friends responded to your efforts, by how you were treated when you failed, by the labels you were given. You're so smart. You're not a math person. You always mess things up. You're talented. You're lazy. Words like these become beliefs, and beliefs become mindset. But beliefs can be unlearned. They can be replaced. You are not your past. You are what you choose to believe next. The hidden dangers of a fixed mindset. Why is a fixed mindset so harmful? Because it teaches you to fear failure, to avoid feedback, to stay inside your comfort zone, to think, if I try and fail, it means I'm a failure. And when you fear failure, you don't take risks. You stop trying. You play it safe. You shrink. That's not just a mindset problem. It becomes a life problem. People with a fixed mindset limit themselves without knowing it. They could have become great if they believed they could grow. Building a growth mindset. The good news is, a growth mindset can be trained. Here's how. Catch fixed thoughts. Start by noticing when your inner voice says, I'm just not good at this. This is too hard. I'll never figure this out. Catch those thoughts. They are not facts. They're just beliefs. And beliefs can change. Use the word. Yet one of the strongest mindset tools is the word yet. I don't understand this yet. I haven't mastered this yet. I'm not confident yet. Yet reminds your brain that growth is coming. It opens the door to possibility. Celebrate effort, not just results. Most people only celebrate the win, but real growth happens in the effort. Start saying, I'm proud I tried. I'm proud I kept going. I'm proud I learned something. This builds self-respect, and self-respect builds momentum. Be a beginner on purpose. Try things you're not good at. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it might be awkward. But that's the zone where growth lives. Take that dance class. Try that new skill. Ask the question in front of the group. Start before you're ready. That's how your mindset strengthens. The growth mindset is not about perfection. Let's be clear. Having a growth mindset doesn't mean you always feel confident. It doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. It doesn't mean every day is easy. It just means you believe you can improve, even on the hard days, especially on the hard days. It means you show up, you try again, you learn, you grow. That's the secret to transformation. Growth is a choice you make daily. You don't need to change your whole life today. You just need to take one step forward. Start learning again. Start asking questions. Start seeing challenges as training. Start choosing growth, even when no one else is. Because the more you practice growth, the more it becomes your nature. And when growth becomes who you are, success follows. Not because you were born lucky, not because everything was easy, but because you chose the growth mindset and never stopped choosing it. Chapter 2. You're not stuck. How to rewire your brain. You are not stuck, even if it feels like you are, even if your life hasn't changed in months, even if the same mistakes keep repeating. The truth is simple but powerful. Your brain can change. You can rewire how you think. You can rewire how you respond. You can rewire your entire belief system. And when you understand this, you unlock your power to grow. You're not born fixed. Many people believe they were born a certain way and must stay that way. They say things like, that's just who I am. I've always been like this. I can't change now. It's too late for me. My brain just doesn't work like that. But science says otherwise. Your brain is not fixed. It's plastic. That means it can be shaped, changed, improved. The name for this is neuroplasticity. It's the ability of your brain to form new connections, build new habits, and create new thought patterns. Your brain changes based on what you repeat, what you practice, what you believe. This means no matter where you start, you can rewire your brain to grow. How old habits form. Think about your habits like paths in a forest. The more you walk a path, the clearer it becomes. The easier it is to find, the faster you walk it. That's how your brain works. Every time you repeat a thought or behavior, you strengthen that path in your brain. So when you say, I always mess up, I hate public speaking, I can't lose weight, I'll never be successful, you're walking that path over and over. Your brain says, okay, this is the route you like. Let's make it easier. And soon you take that route without thinking. It becomes automatic. But guess what? You can build new paths. How new thoughts create new paths. When you think a new thought, even if it feels unfamiliar, you're planting a new path in the brain. It may feel slow at first. It may feel awkward, but with practice, the path becomes clearer. Soon, the new thought becomes easier than the old one. You say, I'm improving every day. This is a challenge, but I can grow through it. My past doesn't define me. I have what it takes. And your brain begins to shift. This is how you rewire your mind. Thought by thought, choice by choice, repetition by repetition. What keeps people feeling stuck? People don't stay stuck because they're lazy or broken or weak. They stay stuck because they don't understand how change works. They wait for motivation. They wait for the right moment. They wait to feel ready. But rewiring your brain isn't about waiting. It's about training your thoughts, training your emotions, training your actions. It takes time, but it works. Step 1. Identify the stuck story. We all have stories we repeat in our minds, stories that hold us back, like, I'm not smart enough. I always fail. No one supports me. I'm too old to start over. People like me don't succeed. These aren't facts. They're beliefs. And beliefs can change. So first, identify the story, write it down, speak it out loud, make it real. Because once it's visible, you can begin to challenge it. Step 2. Ask, is this really true? Now question the story. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Do I have proof this is always true? What if this is just something I learned, not something I am? Is there a different way to see this? Most of the stories that keep us stuck were planted by someone else, a parent, a teacher, a failure, a moment. But moments don't define your future. Your beliefs do, and you get to choose new ones. Step 3, choose a new thought. Here's where the rewiring begins. Take your old story and flip it. Old. I always quit when it's hard. New. I'm learning to stay steady, even when it's hard. Old. I'm not a leader. New. I'm growing into the leader I want to be. Old. I'm not creative. New. I'm exploring my creativity more every day. The goal isn't to lie to yourself. The goal is to speak to who you're becoming, because when you repeat it, you believe it. And when you believe it, you act on it. Step 4. Take small action. Everyday thoughts shape beliefs. But action proves belief. If you want to rewire your brain, you need to take new action, consistently, not huge steps, just small ones. If you want to be confident, speak up once today. If you want to be healthy, take a 10-minute walk. If you want to be focused, set a 15-minute timer to work. Each small win rewires your brain. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, your brain says, this is who we are now, and your identity starts to shift. Step 5. Celebrate the new path. The brain loves rewards. When you celebrate progress, you encourage your brain to keep going. So don't wait until you've changed your whole life. Celebrate today's mindset shift, today's effort, today's courage. Say to yourself, that was growth. I'm proud of how I showed up. I'm building something new. That simple recognition reinforces the path. It says, this is working. Your brain listens to what you repeat. Your thoughts are not background noise. They are instructions to your brain. What you repeat, you reinforce. What you reinforce, you believe. What you believe, you live out. So be careful what you repeat, because your brain is always listening, and it's always building. You're not your past. You may have failed before. You may have quit before. You may have believed you were stuck for years, but that doesn't mean you are now. You're not your mistakes. You're not your weakest moment. You're not the person you were last year. You are the person you decide to become, starting today. The moment you believe you can grow, your brain starts working for you, not against you. That's when everything changes. Chapter 3. The Power of Yet. Turning failure into fuel. You failed before. Everyone has. You tried something and it didn't work. You aimed high and missed. You wanted to grow, but nothing happened. It's easy to take failure personally, to believe it says something about you, to feel like you're not good enough. But here's the truth. Failure is not the end. It's a message, a tool, a teacher. And if you understand one powerful word, you can turn failure into fuel. That word is yet. What is the power of yet? Let's start simple. When you say, I can't do this, it's a full stop. But when you say, I can't do this yet, it becomes a pause, a beginning. Yet means there's still a path forward. It means you're still becoming. It means you're not finished. That one word changes how your brain sees struggle, and that changes everything. The brain reacts to language. Your brain listens to your words, even silent ones. When you say, "I'm not good at this," your brain believes it. It stops trying. It protects you from discomfort. But when you say, "I'm not good at this yet," your brain leans in. It stays curious. It prepares to learn. It doesn't shut down. It stays open. That's neuroplasticity in action. That's how the growth mindset begins. Mistakes aren't proof you're bad. Many people fear mistakes. They think messing up means they're not smart, that they're weak, that they're failures. But mistakes aren't proof you're bad. They're proof you're trying something new, trying something harder, trying something outside your comfort zone. And that's where growth happens. People who grow the most are not the ones who avoid mistakes. They're the ones who learn from them. The world's most successful people failed first. Look around at the people you admire. The inventors, the athletes, the authors, the entrepreneurs. Every one of them has failed. Not once, not twice, but many times. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. J.K. Rowling was rejected by over a dozen publishers. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before making the light bulb. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for TV, but they didn't stop. They didn't say, "I failed, so I'm done." They said, "I failed, but I'm not done yet." That's the difference. Failure isn't final unless you think of failure as feedback. It's data. It tells you what didn't work, so you can figure out what might work better, but only if you stay in the game. Failure only becomes permanent when you stop learning from it. Every failure contains information, clues, direction, but you must be willing to look. Why people avoid failure. Let's be honest. Failing hurts. Nobody likes to feel stupid. Nobody enjoys falling behind. Nobody wants to hear no. That's normal. But fear of failure can stop you from ever starting. It keeps you small. It makes you aim low. It convinces you that safe is better than sorry. But here's the truth. The greatest failure is not trying. The real regret is not risking. Avoiding failure means avoiding growth. Flip the script on failing. Instead of saying, "I failed," say, "I learned something new." Instead of, "This didn't work," say, "This gave me clarity." Instead of, "I'm embarrassed," say, "I'm being stretched." Growth doesn't always feel good, but it always leaves you better. And when you use failure as a teacher, you build wisdom. You build toughness. You build resilience. That's what long-term success is made of. Use this 3-step method to turn failure into fuel. Want a way to use every setback as a setup? Here's a simple method. Step 1. Reflect. Ask, what exactly happened? Where did things go wrong? What was under my control? What can I learn? Don't beat yourself up. Be honest, not harsh. Self-awareness is power. Step 2. Reset. Once you've reflected, let go of shame. Breathe. Remind yourself, this is just part of the process. Reset your focus, reset your commitment, reset your mindset. You are not your mistake. You are your response. Step 3. Reapply. Now act. Apply what you learned. Adjust your plan. Try again, with more wisdom. This is where growth happens. Not in the falling, but in the getting back up. Teach yourself to embrace the yet is not a small word. It's a mindset builder. You can use it in every area of life. I'm not fluent in this language yet. I haven't made money from my passion yet. I don't fully believe in myself yet. It gives you space to breathe, space to grow, space to become, and over time, yet becomes now. How to build resilience. After setbacks, resilience is the ability to bounce back. It's not about avoiding struggle, it's about recovering from it. Here's how to build it. Expect setbacks. Know they'll happen. Plan for them. Detach your identity. You are not your result. Celebrate effort. Honor your commitment, not just the outcome. Keep perspective. One bad moment is not your whole life. Practice gratitude. Even in hard times, find one thing to appreciate. Resilience is a skill. You get better the more you train it. Growth loves challenge. Want to know a secret? Growth happens fastest in challenge, not in comfort, not in easy wins, not in avoiding problems, but in showing up when it's tough, in learning when it's uncomfortable, in staying the course when others quit. Every challenge is a chance to grow. The next time something feels hard, don't say, "This is too much." Say, "This is making me stronger." Chapter 4. Challenge is the way forward. Everyone wants progress, but very few want pressure. Everyone wants growth, but not everyone wants discomfort. Yet, here's the truth most people avoid. Challenge is the way forward. It's not something you escape. It's something you must embrace. In fact, your biggest breakthroughs often come from your biggest problems. Why challenge matters. Growth doesn't happen when everything is easy. It happens when things are hard, when you're struggling, when you're stretched, when you feel like quitting but keep going. That's when new muscles are built, mentally, emotionally, physically. Think about the strongest people you know, the most focused, the most calm, the most driven. None of them became that way by avoiding challenge. They became that way through challenge. Challenge trains you, sharpens you, prepares you. Comfort feels good, but it can hold you back. Let's be honest. Comfort feels nice. It's safe, it's familiar, it's easy, you know what to expect, you don't have to push yourself, you don't risk failure. But here's the problem. Nothing new grows in comfort. Nothing strong is built in ease. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. Comfort is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Challenge is your gym. Think of challenges as workouts for your mind. Every time you go through something tough, you're lifting a mental weight. When you speak up in a meeting, even though you're nervous, when you keep working on a project that feels confusing, when you stay kind, even when someone is rude, when you try something new and risk failure, that's a workout. And every time you complete one, you build strength. It may not be visible on the outside, but inside, you're transforming. Resistance builds strength. In the gym, you build muscle by lifting weight, by feeling resistance, by getting tired, but still pushing. The same is true in life. No challenge, no resistance. No resistance, no growth. So if you want to become better, you have to go through things that test you. Challenge is not the enemy. It's your coach. It shows you your limits so you can expand them. Growth lives on the edge of struggle. Think of a seed in the ground. It doesn't grow in silence. It grows by breaking through the dirt, reaching toward the light, fighting its way up. Growth is not quiet. It's active, messy, uncomfortable, but always forward. When you're in the middle of a challenge, it doesn't mean you're lost. It often means you're in the right place. You're being shaped, stretched, strengthened. Don't run from that. Lean into it. How to change your relationship with challenge. You can't avoid challenge, but you can change how you see it. Here's how. Stop asking, why me? Instead, ask, what is this teaching me? When you shift from victim to student, your whole mindset changes. Challenge is no longer happening to you. It's happening for you. Label it as training. When something feels hard, say to yourself, this is mental training. This is emotional fitness. This is leadership boot camp. Just like athletes train their bodies, you're training your mind. Celebrate the fight, not just the win. Don't just reward outcomes. Celebrate the fact that you stayed in the game, that you didn't quit, that you showed up. That's where real confidence comes from. The most successful people seek challenge. Want to know what separates high performers from everyone else? They don't wait for life to test them. They look for tests. They seek challenges on purpose because they know challenge reveals what they're made of, challenge exposes what needs improvement, challenge builds character. They sign up for discomfort. They walk into difficulty, not because they like pain, but because they love growth. You can build that same mindset. Don't avoid what's hard. Aim for it. Avoiding hard things feels good now, but it steals your future. Facing hard things feels tough now, but it multiplies your future. So what if your goal wasn't to have an easy life? What if your goal was to become strong enough to handle any life? That's the growth mindset. Not, I want easy, but I want to be powerful. And power is built through challenge. Train your mind to welcome the struggle. When things feel tough, try saying, this is what growth looks like. This pressure is creating progress. I can do hard things. Challenge is making me better. Use words that remind you why this matters. Because when your mind believes it's training, you stop resisting. And when you stop resisting, you start transforming. Stay in the challenge zone, not the panic zone. Growth happens in challenge, but not in panic. There's a difference. Comfort zone and no growth challenge zone and healthy stretch, panic zone, and overwhelm. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't need to be perfect. Just stay where you feel stretched, but not broken. That's where strength builds, bit by bit, day by day. What to tell yourself in tough moments. When the challenge feels too big, remind yourself, this is a season, not forever. I've been through hard things before. Every time I stay in the challenge, I grow. This pressure is not punishment, it's preparation. Tough times don't last, but tough people get stronger, and you're becoming one of them. Let challenge break the old. Sometimes growth doesn't feel like growing. It feels like breaking. That's because it's breaking the old version of you, the limited you, the doubtful you, the afraid you. And that's a good thing. Let it break. So the stronger you can rise, the more focused you, the more disciplined you, the more fearless you. That version is worth the pain. Chapter 5. Mistakes are feedback, not failure. You made a mistake. Maybe you said the wrong thing. Maybe you failed the test. Maybe the business idea didn't work. Maybe you let someone down or let yourself down. Whatever it was, it hurt. But that doesn't mean it was failure. And it definitely doesn't mean you are a failure. Because here's the truth that will change how you see your life. Mistakes are not failures. They're feedback. Everyone makes mistakes. Let's begin with something most people forget. Mistakes are normal. Everyone makes them. The smartest people in the world, the kindest, the most successful, the most confident. All of them have made wrong choices. They've said things they regret. They've messed up, fallen down, and started over. So why do we treat our own mistakes like the end of the world? Why do we let one error define our worth? Why do we carry guilt, shame, and fear over something that's part of being human? Because we were never taught to see mistakes correctly. The old way of thinking. From childhood, we hear things like, don't mess up. You'll get in trouble. That's wrong. You should have known better. How could you make that mistake? These messages teach us that mistakes are bad, that they make us look weak, that they mean we're not good enough. So we grow up avoiding risks, hiding our errors, faking perfection, fearing feedback. But that mindset blocks growth. It builds fear, not strength, shame, not confidence. The truth about mistakes. Let's set the record straight. A mistake is not the end. It's the beginning. A beginning of learning. A beginning of clarity. A beginning of improvement. A mistake shows you something you didn't know. It gives you direction. In fact, the only real failure is refusing to learn from it. If you learn, you haven't failed. Why feedback matters more than being right. Most people want to be right. It feels good. It feels safe. It feels powerful. But being right doesn't teach you much. Feedback does. Feedback tells you what's working, what needs to change, where you can improve, how others experience you. That's the information you need to grow. And feedback often comes from mistakes. Not from winning, not from praise, but from falling short and asking why. Mistakes are mirrors. A mistake is like a mirror. It shows you what's really going on. Not what you thought was true, but what is true. You thought you were ready? Mistake says, not quite. You thought you understood it all? Mistake says, look again. You thought you didn't need help? Mistake says, let's rethink that. These are not punishments. They're gifts. Gifts that help you grow. Gifts that bring awareness. Gifts that create maturity. Don't personalize the problem. One of the biggest mindset mistakes we make is turning a situation into a self-judgment. We say, I failed the test. I'm stupid. They didn't like my idea. I'm worthless. The project flopped. I can't do anything right. Stop that. You are not the mistake. You are the person who experienced it. You are still growing, still trying, still learning. That's the job of being human. Learn the lesson, then move on. There's a time to reflect and a time to move. Here's the mistake many people make. They get stuck replaying the mistake over and over in their mind. What they said, what they should have done, how bad it felt. But after reflection comes release. You learn, you grow, you move. Holding on doesn't help. Moving forward does. Use this four-part process to learn from any mistake. Here's a simple mindset tool. Whenever you make a mistake, ask these. What happened? Describe it clearly. What were the facts, not feelings? What role did I play? Take ownership without shame. What was in your control? What can I learn? Look for the pattern. What lesson is here? What will I do differently next time? This is where growth happens. What new choice will you make? If you do this, even once, you've grown. Celebrate that you caught it. Do you know how many people never admit their mistakes, never notice them, never reflect? You noticing the mistake is a win. You being willing to learn is a win. That's not weakness, that's leadership. What if you keep repeating the same mistake? We all do sometimes. And it doesn't mean you're broken. It means there's still a lesson that hasn't been fully absorbed. So try again. Look deeper. Ask yourself, what am I really avoiding here? What fear keeps showing up? What belief is running this behavior? Often, repeated mistakes come from unseen beliefs. Change the belief and the behavior follows. The role of compassion in growth. Being hard on yourself doesn't help. Growth doesn't happen from shame. It happens from self-respect. So when you make a mistake, breathe, pause, forgive yourself, be kind. Not because you're letting yourself off the hook, but because compassion clears the mind. And a clear mind learns faster. Chapter 6. Your effort is the secret weapon. What if your biggest strength wasn't your talent? What if it wasn't how smart you are, or how confident, or how experienced? What if the real key to your success was something much simpler, but far more powerful? Your effort. Your ability to show up, to try again, to push through when it's hard, to keep going when it's not easy. Effort is your secret weapon. Why people overlook effort? People love talent. They admire genius. They celebrate the naturally gifted. They say things like, "She's just a born leader. He's so lucky. He doesn't even try." Some people just have it. But here's what they don't talk about. The effort behind the scenes, the hours spent practicing, the nights spent working, the failures before the wins. Talent gets attention, but effort builds greatness. Every time, effort is the part you control. You can't control your starting point. You can't choose your parents. You can't choose how smart you were at birth. You can't go back and change your early school years. But you can choose effort every single day. You can choose to show up, to learn more, to keep going, to take one more step. Effort is your power. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be the one who keeps showing up. The myth of natural talent. Let's clear this up. There's no such thing as someone who becomes great without effort. Yes, some people start ahead. Yes, some have advantages. But nobody grows without work. Every natural you've seen has practiced. Every master started as a beginner. Every pro failed again and again until they improved. Effort is the great equalizer. It gives you a chance. It gives you hope. It gives you progress. The science behind effort. Here's something fascinating. Your brain actually changes because of effort. Every time you focus, every time you practice, every time you try again, your brain builds new connections. This process is called neuroplasticity. It means you're not stuck. Your abilities are not fixed. You're not just bad at math. You're not hopeless with focus. You're not too lazy to succeed. You're simply building new habits. And effort is the tool that shapes your brain. Practice doesn't make perfect. It makes progress. Let's stop chasing perfection. It doesn't exist. What you want is progress. Small wins, tiny steps, steady movement. Every time you give effort, you move forward. Even if it's slow, even if it's awkward, even if no one notices but you. Progress is what matters, and effort is how you get it. Why most people quit too early. Most people give up way too soon, not because they're weak, not because they're lazy, but because they expected results without consistent effort. They try once, it doesn't work. They say, "I guess I'm not cut out for this." Wrong. They just didn't stay long enough. They didn't let their effort grow roots. They didn't give time for change to take hold. Your growth needs time. Effort plus time equals transformation. How to fall in love with effort. Effort doesn't always feel exciting. Sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's uncomfortable, sometimes you don't see results right away. But what if you started to love the work? What if showing up again and again became a game? What if you stopped focusing on the finish line and started focusing on the next step? That's how you stay motivated. Not by waiting for motivation, but by making effort your lifestyle. Keep score the right way. Don't just count wins, count effort. Did you try today? Did you focus today? Did you get back up today? Then you win. Effort is your scoreboard. Let others chase praise. You chase growth. Let others show off talent. You stack up work. Because in the long run, effort outlasts talent. Small steps become big shifts. You don't have to run fast. You just have to keep walking. Each small action adds up. One page read becomes a finished book. One rep lifted becomes stronger arms. One good choice becomes a new habit. One honest conversation becomes a stronger relationship. None of it happens overnight, but with steady effort, everything starts to change. Effort builds identity. You're not just building skills, you're building who you are. Every time you give effort, you send a message to yourself. I'm a learner. I'm disciplined. I don't quit. I do the work. Like those messages become identity, and identity drives behavior. That's how real change happens. Not just through what you do, but through who you become by doing it. Train your effort muscle. Effort is like a muscle. You have to train it, build it, strengthen it. And just like in the gym, the more you train, the more you can handle. At first, 5 minutes of focus is hard. Then it becomes 15, then 30. Then you're working deeply for hours. Your effort capacity grows. Your mental stamina increases, all because you kept showing up. Use effort to push through failure. When you fail, it's tempting to stop, to say, what's the point? But that's the moment effort matters most. Because effort after failure is what makes the comeback. It's what builds resilience. It's what proves to you, I don't need perfect conditions. I just need my will. You don't have to win every time. You just have to stay in the game. How to build an effort-first mindset. Here's how to live like effort is your secret weapon. Stop comparing talent. You don't need to be as smart, fast, or skilled as anyone else. You just need to out-effort them. Track the work. Every time you give effort, mark it down. Not to brag, but to remind yourself who you are becoming. Reward the try. Celebrate not just results, but the fact that you tried, that you acted, that you moved. Trying is growth. Trying is courage. Trying is enough. Your effort is a seed. Imagine planting a seed. You water it. You wait. You check on it daily, but nothing happens for a while. Still, you keep watering. Then one day, a sprout breaks through the soil. Then it grows and grows and becomes something amazing. Effort is the water. Time is the sun. And your future is the tree that grows. Don't stop watering just because you can't see results right away. Trust the process. Trust your effort. It's working. Chapter 7. How to stay curious and keep asking. Why some people stop growing not because they reach their limits, but because they stop asking questions. They stop being curious. They stop wondering. They stop exploring. But here's the truth. Curiosity is fuel for growth. It keeps your mind open. It keeps your learning alive. It keeps you sharp, focused, and full of life. If you want to grow, win, and evolve, you must learn to stay curious and keep asking why. What is curiosity? Curiosity is a desire to know. It's that voice in your head that says, how does this work? Why do they do it that way? What if I tried this instead? What happens if I go a little deeper? Curiosity is not just for scientists or kids. It's for everyone who wants to grow. It's how you discover new things. It's how you unlock new levels. It's how you turn ordinary moments into learning opportunities. Why people lose their curiosity. You were born curious. As a child, you asked questions nonstop. You touched everything. You explored every corner. You kept asking why. Again and again. But somewhere along the way, many people lose that spark. Why? Because they were told, stop asking so many questions. You don't need to know that. Just do what you're told. That's a dumb question. Slowly, they stopped wondering. They stopped searching. They stopped asking. But here's the good news. Curiosity can come back. And when it does, so does growth. The growth mindset loves questions. A fixed mindset says, I already know everything I need. This is just the way it is. That's not for me. No point in asking. It won't change anything. But a growth mindset says, what else could be possible? Why is this the way it is? How can I improve this? Is there a better way? Questions open doors, and every door leads to a new path. Asking why builds. Understanding. There's a difference between memorizing facts and understanding them. You can memorize a math formula, you can repeat a rule, you can follow instructions, but do you understand why it works? Do you know what it means? Can you explain it to someone else? Curiosity helps you move beyond surface-level learning. When you ask why, you move from knowing what to knowing how and why. That's deep learning, and deep learning leads to powerful growth. Curiosity makes you a better thinker. When you ask questions, you train your brain to think in new ways. You become more open-minded, more creative, more resourceful, more adaptable. You stop looking for just one answer and start seeing many possibilities. And in today's fast-changing world, the ability to think differently is more valuable than ever. Curiosity drives innovation. Every invention started with curiosity. Every breakthrough began with a question. What if we could fly? Why does this disease spread like that? How can I make this easier? Why does no one solve this problem? People who ask better questions create better solutions. So if you want to lead, build, or grow, you must ask why over and over again. Curiosity makes life more interesting. Boredom doesn't come from a lack of things to do. It comes from a lack of curiosity. You can walk the same street 100 times, but notice something new on the 101st if you're curious. You can read a book you've read before and learn something brand new if you ask the right questions this time. Curiosity turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. It keeps your world fresh. It makes life richer. How to stay curious in daily life. You don't have to wait for big moments. Curiosity can live in the everyday. Here's how. Start with I wonder. When something catches your eye or feels unclear, ask, I wonder how that works. I wonder why they said that. I wonder what would happen if. This gentle question opens your mind instead of shutting it down. Pause before you judge. Instead of saying, that's stupid or that's wrong, pause. Ask, what's the reason behind this? What do they see that I don't? Could there be more to this? Judgment stops learning. Curiosity starts it. Ask, don't assume. We often think we already know, but curiosity admits we don't. So ask, what do you mean by that? Can you explain that differently? Why is this done this way? You'll be surprised what you learn just by asking. Let curiosity guide your goals. When setting a goal, don't just ask, what do I want? Also ask, why do I want it? What's driving me? What happens after I get there? Is there a better way to reach it? These questions help you choose the right path instead of just following the common one. They make your goals meaningful, not just impressive. Curiosity creates resilience. When something goes wrong, curiosity helps you bounce back. Instead of, I failed, that's it. Say, why didn't it work? What can I try next? Instead of, they said no, I'm done. Say, why did they say no? How can I do it better? Curiosity keeps you in motion. It keeps you thinking forward. It keeps you growing. Keep a curiosity journal. Here's a powerful tool. Every day, write down one thing you don't understand, one question you're curious about, one why you want to explore deeper. This builds your mental habit of asking. Over time, you'll notice patterns. You'll notice what excites you. You'll notice where your brain wants to grow. This is personal development, driven by curiosity. Model curiosity for others. If you lead, teach, or raise others, Show them how to ask. Say things like, "That's a good question. Let's find out together. I don't know, but I'd love to learn." You're not just giving answers, you're building thinkers, and thinkers change the world. Questions to ask yourself. Often here are powerful self-reflection questions. What did I learn today? What surprised me? What do I still not understand? Where do I need to explore more? What belief do I have that needs testing? These aren't just questions, they are tools. Use them. Curiosity is confidence. Some people think asking questions shows weakness. That's wrong. The most confident people are often the most curious. They're not afraid to say, "I don't know yet." They're not afraid to admit they're learning. They're not afraid to explore. Curiosity says, "I believe I can understand. I believe I can figure it out. I believe I'm capable of growth." That's not weakness. That's real strength. Chapter 8. Mindset shifts that change everything. Your mindset is the lens you use to see the world. It shapes what you notice. It shapes what you believe. It shapes what you think is possible for you. You can have all the goals, all the tools, all the talent. But if your mindset is holding you back, nothing will change. That's why this chapter is so important. We're going to explore the mindset shifts that change everything. Because real growth doesn't start outside you, it starts inside. What is a mindset shift? A mindset shift is not just a new idea, it's a new way of seeing. It's when you stop thinking one way and start thinking another. Like this, from "I'm not good at this" to "I'm learning." From "I failed" to "I grew." From "It's too late for me" to "I'm just getting started." These may look simple, but they're powerful. Each one opens a new door in your mind, and once you walk through, you don't go back. Shift number 1, from perfection to progress. Perfection says you must get it right. You can't make mistakes. If it's not perfect, it's worthless. This mindset creates stress, fear, procrastination, and often quitting. But progress says, get better, not perfect. Mistakes are part of the path. Done is better than perfect. This mindset creates motion, momentum, improvement, confidence. Perfection is a trap. Progress is a ladder. Choose the latter. Shift number 2, from "I can't" to "I'm not there yet." When people say "I can't," what they often mean is, "I've never done it before. I've failed at this before. I'm afraid to try again, but I can't" shuts the door. "I'm not there yet" leaves it open. It says, "I may not know it now, but I can learn. I haven't mastered it yet, but I will." Growth is possible. The word "yet" turns limits into steps. Shift number 3, from "what if I fail" what if I grow? Fear of failure is common. We think, what if I embarrass myself? What if it doesn't work? What if people laugh at me? But rarely do we ask, what if I learn something amazing? What if I discover my strength? What if I succeed beyond what I imagined? Same situation, different mindset. One keeps you stuck, the other helps you rise. Shift number 4, from fixed identity to evolving identity. A fixed identity says, "I'm just not a people person. I've always been bad with money. That's just how I am." But who you've been doesn't have to define who you become. Your brain changes. Your habits change. Your identity can change too. An evolving identity says, "I can become someone new. I can learn any skill. I can rewrite my story." And it's true. Shift number 5, from comparing to learning. Comparison says, "They're ahead of me. They're better than me. I'm behind." Learning says, "What can I take from their journey? What habits do they have that I can try? What's my next step?" Comparison drains your energy. Learning builds it. Stop scrolling with jealousy. Start watching with curiosity. Let others inspire you, not discourage you. Shift. Number 6, from blame to ownership. Blame says, "They didn't help me. It's the system's fault. If only I had more support." And sometimes, yes, life isn't fair, but blame makes you powerless. Ownership gives you power. It says, "This happened, but now it's my move. I didn't choose this, but I choose my response. I can still write the next chapter." You don't control everything, but you control your attitude, effort, and focus. Own that. say, around showing so many people I want life to be easier, less pressure, fewer problems, more comfort. But what if your goal wasn't an easy life? What if your goal was to become strong enough for any life? That shift changes everything. You stop fearing the storm. You start becoming the storm. You build toughness, resilience, character, and suddenly the world looks different. Not because it changed, but because you did. Why? These shifts work. Each mindset shift breaks a limiting belief, replaces it with a growth belief, creates a new pattern of thinking, leads to new action, builds confidence over time. They're not just phrases, they're tools. Each time you practice one, you strengthen your mental muscles. How to lock these in. Here's how to make these shifts stick. Repeat them daily. Speak them out loud. Write them down. Remind yourself. Because repetition rewires the brain. Catch the old thought notice when the fixed mindset appears. I can't do this. This isn't fair. They're better than me. Then pause. Breathe. Insert the new mindset. Train your brain to upgrade in real time. Surround yourself with growth thinkers. Mindsets are contagious. If you hang around complainers, you'll start to think like one. If you hang around builders, you'll start building too. Choose your environment. Choose your energy. Bonus: the 10-second reframe. When you feel stuck, ask, what's the mindset keeping me stuck right now? Then ask, what's the growth version of that mindset? Example: stuck mindset. I'm overwhelmed. Growth reframe. I'll start with one small step. This simple move, done daily, can shift your entire life. Real examples of powerful mindset shifts. Here are some quick mindset flips that can change your day. From I have to do this to I get to do this. From I'm tired to I'm recharging. From this is hard to this is shaping me. From they're judging me to I'm growing, and that's messy. From nothing's working to something's coming together, I just don't see it yet. Every one of these shifts creates power. Use them. Chapter 9. Self-talk. Rewriting the voice in your head. There's a voice that speaks to you every day. It's not your parents, not your boss, not your friends. It's you. It's your own inner voice, and it talks more than anyone else. What it says shapes your mood, your motivation, your beliefs, and your results. This is called self-talk, and it's one of the most powerful forces in your entire life. What is self-talk? Self-talk is what you say to yourself, about yourself, all day long. It's the thoughts that run through your mind, the silent comments you make when you try something new, the private words you hear when you fail or succeed. Sometimes it sounds like, I'm not good enough. Why do I always mess things up? I'll never be like them. This is too hard. Other times, it sounds like, I've got this. One step at a time. I'm learning. This is helping me grow. Self-talk can lift you up, or it can tear you down. The good news is, you can rewrite it. Where self-talk comes from. You weren't born with negative self-talk. You picked it up from teachers who criticized you, friends who laughed at your dreams, adults who ignored your effort. Experiences where you failed and nobody encouraged you over time. Their voices became yours. You began to say to yourself what others said about you. But here's the truth. Just because you've thought it for years doesn't mean it's true. And just because it's in your head doesn't mean it belongs there. Why self-talk matters. Your thoughts shape your emotions shape your actions shape your results. And it all starts with what you say to yourself. Negative self-talk makes you doubt your ability, quit too early, avoid challenges, feel small even when you're growing. Positive self-talk makes you try again, stay focused, learn from mistakes, believe in your future. Self-talk becomes your mindset in motion. Common negative self-talk patterns. Here are some harmful examples of self-talk many people use. The inner critic. You're so stupid, you'll never get it right. What's wrong with you? The perfectionist. It's not good enough. You can't stop until it's perfect. If you make a mistake, it's over. The victim. Nothing ever works out for me. It's always someone else's fault. Why even try? The comparer. They're doing so much better. I'm way behind. I'll never catch up. If any of these sound familiar, you're not alone, but you can change the script. Step 1. Become aware. You can't fix what you don't notice. So start by paying attention. Next time you feel stuck, afraid, unmotivated, angry, defeated, pause and ask, what am I saying to myself right now? Is it helpful? Is it true? Would I say this to a friend? This is the beginning of taking back your voice. Step 2. Challenge the voice. When you hear something negative, challenge it. Don't just believe it because it's familiar. Ask, where is this coming from? Is there evidence? Has this thought helped me before? What's a more helpful way to think? Example, negative self-talk. I always mess up. Challenge it. Really? Always. What about the last 3 things I did right? This breaks the habit and gives your brain a new direction. Step 3. Rewrite the script. Here's where the real shift begins. For every harmful thought, write a healthy one. Let's flip a few. I'm not good at this. I'm learning, and I'll improve. Everyone's better than me. I'm on my own path and growing every day. I failed. I found a way that didn't work. Now I'm wiser. I can't do this. This is hard, but I'm capable. Make these new thoughts simple, clear, and personal. Repeat them. Say them out loud. Write them on sticky notes. Put them where you'll see them. This is mental training, the power of speaking to yourself. Like a coach. Think of the best coach you've ever seen. They don't say, "You're terrible. Why do you even try? You're so far behind." They say, "You've got more in you. Let's focus on what we can control. One rep at a time. We'll learn and come back stronger." Now imagine speaking to yourself like that every day. That's not being soft. That's being strong. That's building a growth mindset. What you say, you start to believe. Your brain listens to your voice. When you say something enough, it becomes familiar. When it becomes familiar, it starts to feel true. And when it feels true, you act on it. So the more you say, "I can't," the more you live like you can't. But the more you say, "I'm getting better," the more your actions follow that belief. You are programming yourself with every word. Make that program work for you, not against you. Use the flip it method. Here's a simple tool to change your self-talk fast. Whenever you catch a negative thought, do this. Write it down. Flip it to something empowering. Read the new version out loud. Example, thought, "I'm not qualified for this." Flip, "I'm learning fast and showing up with effort. Growth will qualify me." This practice takes minutes, but the impact builds over time. Don't fake. Positivity builds truth. Positive self-talk is not about lying to yourself. It's about choosing words that move you forward. Not, "Everything is perfect," but "I have the strength to handle this." Not, "I'm amazing all the time," but "I've made progress and I'm still improving." Real self-talk is not sugar-coated. It's strong, honest, focused, encouraging. It's the voice of someone who believes in you, even when you're struggling. Practice self-talk during challenges. The next time you make a mistake, get rejected, feel tired, want to quit, pause. Take a deep breath. Speak to yourself like a coach, like a mentor, like your strongest self. Say, "This is part of the process. I've been through worse. I can handle this. This is shaping me. I don't need to feel confident to take action." This voice will carry you forward when nothing else can. Make self-talk a daily habit. Here's how to train your self-talk muscle every day. Morning. Start your day with an intentional thought. "I'm focused. I'm growing. Today matters." Midday. Check in. Pause and ask, "How am I speaking to myself right now?" Adjust if needed. Evening reflection. End your day with this question. What's one thing I did today that I'm proud of? This daily loop rewires your thinking, and over time, your inner voice becomes your biggest ally. When self-talk feels hard, some days the negative voice is louder. You're tired, discouraged, drained. That's okay. You don't need to fake energy. Just speak kindly. Say, "I'm doing the best I can today. I'll rest, then try again tomorrow. I'm still in the game." Compassion is power. especially when it's directed at yourself. Chapter 10. Learning to love the process. Everyone wants results. They want the win, the success, the celebration, but very few fall in love with what actually creates those things. The process. The process is the work, the daily grind, the part no one sees, the part that isn't always fun, fast, or easy. But here's the truth. If you don't learn to love the process, you'll never last long enough to get the reward. This chapter is about falling in love with the doing, not just the dream. What is the process? The process is everything that happens before success. It's the practice before the performance, training before the game, writing before the book, struggle before the breakthrough. It's the hours no one claps for, the setbacks no one posts about, the habits that happen when no one's watching. The process is where the real growth happens. Why most people quit the process? People love the idea of winning, but they forget winning is built on repetition. Success is made of small steps. Mastery is the result of boring consistency. Most people quit because it feels slow. It feels hard. It doesn't feel exciting. They chase motivation, but motivation fades. What keeps you going is learning to love the routine, even when it's quiet. The process builds you. Here's something powerful. You're not just working toward a goal. The goal is working on you. Every time you stick with the process, you build. Discipline, patience, focus, grit, identity. These things stay with you long after the result. In fact, the result is just a side effect of who you became through the process. Stop rushing to the end. We live in a fast world. Fast food, fast downloads, fast success stories. But growth doesn't work like that. If you plant a seed, you don't yell at the soil for not blooming overnight. You water it. You give it time. You trust the process. Your life works the same way. Shift from when to now. A lot of people say, when I finally lose the weight, when I get that job, when I hit that number. But here's the truth. If you can't enjoy the journey, you won't enjoy the destination. Why? Because you'll always move the goalpost. Always chase the next thing. Never feel satisfied. The solution? Be present. Be here. Find meaning now. How to fall in love with the process. Here's how to make the process feel alive again. Focus on the day, not the year. Don't stress over what's 12 months away. Ask, what's one good thing I can do today? One workout. One chapter. 1 hour of deep work. One act of kindness. Stack good days. They turn into great months. Track the effort, not just the outcome. Celebrate showing up. Celebrate trying again. Celebrate being consistent. Every checkmark you make is proof. I'm becoming the person I want to be. That's powerful. Romanticize the work. Yes, romanticize it. Make your routine feel special. Light a candle while you study. Play your favorite playlist during cleanup. Use a journal that feels good to write in, walk in nature, and treat it like therapy. The more meaning you give the process, the more connected you'll feel. Reflect on progress. Often take time to notice how far you've come. Look back. Where were you a month ago? What's something that used to feel hard? What are you doing now that once felt impossible? This reflection is fuel. It reminds you, I'm not stuck, I'm growing. The process reveals the truth. Here's something few talk about. The process will expose you. If you're faking it, it shows. If you're not consistent, it shows. If you're relying only on talent, it shows. But that's not a bad thing. It's a gift, because once you see the truth, you can get better. The process gives you feedback, and feedback is how you grow. Love the boring stuff. Success is often hidden in the boring stuff. Writing daily, practicing drills, cleaning up your workspace. Saying no to distractions, doing the same routine again and again. It doesn't feel exciting, but it creates excellence. Fall in love with boring. That's where magic happens. Use routines as rituals. Routines can feel like chores, but rituals feel sacred. Change how you see them. For example, don't just stretch. Feel your body opening up. Don't just plan your day. Feel the clarity settling in. Don't just meal prep. Feel the care you're giving your future self. Treat the process like a gift, not a punishment. Detach from the outcome. This might sound strange, but it's true. The best way to hit your goal is to stop obsessing over it. Instead, obsess over who you're becoming, how consistent you are, how well you show up today. Ironically, the less you chase the prize, the faster it shows up. Because now you're aligned with growth. Process over pressure. When you love the process, you stop putting so much pressure on the outcome. You stop thinking, what if I fail? What will people say? What if it takes too long? Instead, you start thinking, what can I learn today? How can I improve this moment? What's my next right step? That mindset removes fear and brings power. Embrace the plateaus. Not every day will feel like progress. Some days will feel slow, stale, confusing, repetitive. That's normal. You're not broken. You're building. Plateaus are part of the process. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Some parts are steep, others are flat. But all of it moves you upward. Create a process you actually enjoy. You don't have to suffer every day. Build a path that fits you. Hate running? Try dance or swimming. Don't like long writing sessions? Try short bursts. Hate early mornings? Work in the evenings instead. You'll still need discipline, but if you enjoy the journey, you'll stick with it longer. Your identity lives in the process. You don't become a writer when you publish a book. You become a writer the moment you start writing. Daily. You don't become an athlete after a championship. You become an athlete the moment you train. Consistently. Who you are is revealed in what you do daily. Your identity lives in your habits. So if you want to change your life, change your process. Chapter 11, Growth Through Discomfort. Most people want to grow. They want to be stronger, smarter, more focused, more confident, but they also want to stay comfortable. That's the problem. Growth doesn't live in comfort. Growth lives in discomfort. It's uncomfortable to wake up early. It's uncomfortable to say no to distractions. It's uncomfortable to face failure, start over, and keep going. But every breakthrough is on the other side of something uncomfortable. In this chapter, we're going to learn why discomfort is not the enemy. It's the path. What is discomfort? Discomfort is the feeling you get when you step outside your comfort zone. It's the moment when you try something new. You don't have all the answers. You feel awkward, unsure, or exposed. You risk making a mistake. Your brain doesn't like that. It wants safety. It wants the familiar. It wants easy. But the familiar keeps you stuck, and growth only happens in the unfamiliar. Discomfort is a signal, not a stop sign. When something feels uncomfortable, most people stop. They think, this feels wrong. I must not be ready. This means I'm not good at it. But discomfort doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're learning. It means you're stretching. It means you're doing something new. It means you're alive. The goal isn't to avoid discomfort. The goal is to walk through it. Why we avoid discomfort. We're wired for survival. Your brain's job is to protect you, not to help you grow. That's why you procrastinate hard tasks. You avoid difficult conversations. You stay in habits that feel safe, even when they don't help. But growth requires challenge, and challenge requires discomfort. To grow, you have to override the fear system and step forward anyway. Growth is like building muscle. Think of going to the gym. To build muscle, you have to lift weights, and that causes tension, resistance, and pain. If you lift the same weight every day, your muscles won't grow. You have to increase the resistance. You have to feel the burn. That's discomfort. In life, it's the same. Want to grow your focus? Push your mind to stay with hard tasks. Want to grow your discipline? Say no when it's easier to say yes. Want to grow your confidence? Speak up when your voice shakes. Discomfort is the workout. Growth is the result. The discomfort zone is the growth zone. Here's how the zones break down. Comfort zone, where everything feels easy. No pressure, no risk, no growth. Discomfort zone, where things feel unfamiliar, awkward, or hard. This is where learning and growth happen. Panic zone, Where it's too much, too fast, you shut down. No progress here either. The sweet spot is the discomfort zone. You feel challenged but not crushed. You're stretched but not snapped. This is where the magic happens. What happens when you embrace discomfort? You begin to build resilience. Find out what you're capable of. Get used to trying new things. Stop fearing failure. Start enjoying the stretch. Your brain starts to realize, hey, I didn't die. I actually learned something. I'm getting stronger. And over time, discomfort becomes your new comfort. Real-life examples of growth through discomfort. A shy person joins a speaking class and learns to lead. A student who hates math stays with the struggle and eventually gets better. A new runner pushes through breathlessness and ends up finishing a race. A writer keeps writing even through rejection and finally publishes a book. None of this feels easy, but every moment of discomfort moves them forward. Train yourself to step into discomfort. Here's how to start building your discomfort muscle. Do one hard thing daily. Pick something small that feels uncomfortable. Take a cold shower, speak up in a meeting, wake up 30 minutes earlier, reach out to someone you've been avoiding. You're not doing it to suffer. You're doing it to train your brain. I can do hard things. Reframe the feeling. Instead of saying, this is scary, say, this is new. Instead of, I'm nervous, say, I'm stretching. Discomfort doesn't mean danger. It means development. Use micro-challenges. Break discomfort into smaller parts. Want to get better at public speaking? First, talk in front of a mirror. Then, record yourself. Then, speak to one person. Then, join a small group. Then, step onto a stage. Little by little, you turn discomfort into confidence. Accept that growth will feel messy. There will be awkward starts, failed tries, confusing moments, embarrassing attempts. That's normal. Learning isn't clean, it's messy. Give yourself permission to be a beginner, make mistakes, look silly, keep going. No one is smooth in the discomfort zone, but they grow there. Look at your heroes. Think of anyone you admire, a leader, an artist, an athlete, an entrepreneur. Now ask yourself, did they stay in their comfort zone or did they risk being judged? Face fear, go through rejection, keep showing up despite discomfort. You already know the answer. If they didn't avoid discomfort, why should you? The discomfort won't last, but the growth will. Here's the secret. Discomfort is temporary. Growth is permanent. The awkward stage passes, the hard moment ends, the fear fades. But the strength you build, that stays with you forever. You become someone new. Not just someone who has more, but someone who is more. Chapter 12. The role of discipline in a growth mindset. You've probably heard this before. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. And it's true, because motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. It's like a wave. You can't always count on it. But discipline? Discipline is a choice, a habit, a mindset. It shows up even when you don't feel like it. If you want to develop a strong growth mindset, you must learn to build and trust your discipline. This chapter will show you how. What is discipline? Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's waking up early when your bed feels warm. It's going to the gym when your mind makes excuses. It's writing the page, studying the chapter, finishing the work, no matter your mood. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's showing up again and again and again. Discipline is a muscle. You're not born disciplined. You build it. Like any muscle, it grows through repetition, struggle, recovery, patience. If you've never trained discipline, it will feel hard at first. You'll want to quit. You'll hear excuses in your head. That's normal. But each time you push through, you get a little stronger. Why discipline matters for a growth mindset. A growth mindset says, I can improve. I'm not stuck. I'll keep going, even when it's hard. But this mindset only works if you take action. And to take action, especially when you're tired, scared, or bored, you need discipline. Discipline turns your beliefs into behavior. It turns dreams into daily steps. Without discipline, your mindset stays in your head. With it, you bring your mindset into the real world. The myth of motivation. Many people wait to feel motivated before they act. They say, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll go for it once I'm inspired. I'll move when I have more energy. But the truth is, motivation often comes after action, not before. Discipline says, start now. Move forward, even if it's small. Trust the process. And once you start, you build momentum. You feel better. You get results. Motivation follows discipline. Discipline creates freedom. This may sound strange. Discipline gives you freedom. Why? Because when you control your habits stop controlling you. When you plan your day, you're not ruled by distractions. When you show up for your goals, you're not stuck in guilt or regret. Discipline frees you from procrastination, chaos, confusion, self-doubt. It replaces those with clarity, strength, progress, pride. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is doing what matters on purpose. How to build daily discipline. Discipline is built one day at a time. Here's how to get started. Start small and win early. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one thing. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. Walk 10 minutes after lunch. Write for 5 minutes each day. Avoid social media for 1 hour. Win that. Then build on it. Discipline stacks like bricks. Small wins create a strong wall. Remove the decision. Discipline struggles when there's too much thinking, so remove the decision. Lay out your clothes the night before, schedule your tasks in a calendar, pre-plan your meals. Use timers to limit distractions. Make it automatic. If you always wait to feel like it, you'll rarely follow through. Make it easy to start. The hardest part is starting, so make it easy. Open your book, not your phone. Put your shoes by the door. Set out your water bottle. Keep your workspace clean. Lower the resistance. The easier it is to begin, the more likely you'll continue. Track your streak. Every time you show up, mark it. Use a calendar habit app, notebook, whiteboard. When you see the streak growing, you won't want to break it. Discipline loves momentum. Discipline isn't harsh, it's kind. Some people think discipline means being hard on yourself. That's not true. Discipline is an act of self-respect. It's saying, I believe in my future. I care enough to do what's right. I love myself enough to stay committed. It's not punishment. It's protection. You're protecting your focus, your dreams, your growth. Discipline and emotion. What if you're sad? What if you're angry? What if you're overwhelmed? Here's the truth. Discipline isn't about ignoring emotions. It's about acting wisely through them. You can be tired and still stretch. You can be stressed and still journal. You can be angry and still walk away instead of yelling. Discipline creates space between emotion and action. That space gives you power. Real-world examples of discipline in action. A writer sets a timer every morning and writes 500 words. No matter what, a student commits to 20 minutes of study every day, even on weekends. A parent wakes up at 5 a.m. to have time to grow before helping the kids. An athlete trains on rainy days when the gym is empty. They don't wait to feel perfect. They just show up. That's discipline, and that's what builds growth. The role of rest in discipline. Yes, discipline includes rest. Burnout doesn't equal progress. Discipline is smart, not extreme, so plan your rest. Sleep 7-8 hours. Take short breaks during deep work. Have recovery days from hard workouts. Unplug your mind with quiet time. Rest isn't weakness. It's fuel. Disciplined people don't go harder forever. They know when to pause so they can go longer. Discipline builds identity. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Each small act of discipline says, I'm someone who shows up. I'm someone who follows through. I'm someone who gets it done. And slowly, your identity shifts. You stop saying, I hope I change, and start saying, this is who I am now. Don't let one bad day break the chain. You will mess up. You will miss a day. You will feel off. That's okay. One bad moment doesn't erase your progress. What matters is what you do next. Discipline isn't all or nothing. It's fall and get back up. So when you slip, don't shame yourself. Don't quit everything. Don't throw away the streak. Just reset, restart. refocus. How discipline creates confidence. You don't get confident by waiting. You get confident by showing up repeatedly. Each time you do what you said you would do, you build trust in yourself. You stop thinking, "Can I do this?" and start thinking, "Of course I can. I've done it before." That's real confidence. Built from action, built from effort, built from discipline. Chapter 13. Why comparison kills growth. Let's talk about something that silently holds a lot of people back: comparison. You look at someone else and think, "They're ahead of me. They're better than me. I should be where they are by now." This voice doesn't scream. It whispers, but it makes you feel small. Here's the truth. Comparison kills growth. It steals your focus. It blocks your progress. It turns your journey into a race you never wanted to run. In this chapter, we'll learn how to recognize comparison, why it's dangerous, and how to stop letting it control you. Why we compare. We don't mean to do it, but we do. You see someone else's followers, business, body, house, grades, lifestyle, and your brain automatically asks, "How do I measure up?" This is normal. Humans are wired to scan their surroundings, to look for threats, to see how they fit in. But today, that wiring turns into anxiety, because we're not comparing ourselves to our neighbors. We're comparing to everyone on a global scale. Thanks to social media, we see highlight reels from all over the world, and we forget those are just moments, not the full story. The danger of comparison. Comparison doesn't inspire, it paralyzes. When you compare yourself to others, you start to feel behind, insecure, not good enough. Like your progress doesn't matter. You might even say things like, "What's the point of trying? I'll never be like them. They have it so easy." That mindset shuts down growth. Instead of focusing on your next step, you're staring at someone else's finish line. And that's a trap. You're running a different race. Picture this. You're in a marathon. You've trained. You're in your lane. You're moving forward. Then suddenly, you stop running and start looking around. You see someone who's ahead. You feel discouraged. You slow down. But here's what you forget. They didn't start where you started. They might be in a different mile, a different pace, a different season of life. You're not even in the same race. So why compare? Stay in your lane. Run your race. That's how you win. The hidden cost of comparison. When you spend time comparing, you lose more than confidence. You lose time, energy, focus, joy, progress. Instead of building your own life, you're watching someone else live theirs. That doesn't move you forward. It keeps you stuck. Your journey is unique. No one else has. Your story, your pain, your heart, your talents, your lessons, your dreams. So how can their path be your standard? It can't. You're not late. You're not behind. You're right on time for your journey. You just need to stop looking sideways. How to recognize comparison in real life. It often shows up as scrolling through social media and suddenly feeling bad, hearing someone's success and instantly thinking about your own failures, judging yourself for not having more, saying, "I should be farther by now," feeling jealous but not knowing why. These moments are clues. They tell you where you've forgotten your value, where you've drifted from your own growth, how to break free from comparison. You can't always stop the first thought, but you can control what you do next. Here's how. Catch it, don't fight it. When you notice comparison, pause. Say to yourself, "That's comparison. It's not the truth. It's just a thought." Labeling it gives you power over it. You're not the thought, you're the one watching it. Flip it into curiosity. Instead of, "Why are they so far ahead?" Ask, "What can I learn from them? What habits help them grow? What part of me is being triggered right now?" This turns envy into education. You stop judging and start learning. Focus on progress, not perfection. Look back. Where were you? 1 year ago? 6 months ago? 1 month ago? What's better now? Maybe. You think more clearly. You respond better to stress. You take more responsibility. You believe in yourself more. That's growth. Celebrate it. Unplug and reconnect. If social media is triggering you, take a break. Not forever, just long enough to reset. Spend time reading, journaling, walking, creating, connecting in real life. Your self-worth doesn't live in a screen. It lives in your values, your habits, and your heart. Set personal goals that excite you. When your goals are real, you stop caring about others. Ask, what would make me proud? What matters to me right now? How can I grow in a way that fits my story? That's where your power is. When you're triggered by someone else's success. Here's a truth that's hard to admit. Sometimes someone else's success brings up our insecurities. You see their win, and it reminds you of what you haven't done. But that's not their fault. It's just a sign. There's a part of you that's ready to grow. Instead of shrinking back, lean into the discomfort. Let it show you what you want. Use it as motivation. Someone else's light doesn't dim yours. It shows you what's possible. Your timeline is not broken. You may feel like everyone is ahead of me. I should be more successful by now. I'm falling behind. But ask yourself, behind, compared to who? There is no universal clock. There's no rule book. There's no set age for success. Colonel Sanders started KFC in his 60s. Oprah got her big break in her 30s. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until age 40. Stan Lee published his first comic at 39. Your timeline is yours. Trust it. Build a life that feels good, not just one that looks good. Most of what you compare yourself to is appearance. But you don't see the stress behind the smile, the pressure behind the post, the debt behind the lifestyle, the loneliness behind the luxury. So, don't chase the image, chase what feels good. Deep peace, real progress, honest relationships, purposeful work. That's success. Chapter 14, Mastering Change and Staying Adaptable. Change is constant. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't follow your schedule. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. Change just happens. And the people who thrive in life aren't the ones who avoid change. They're the ones who adapt. In this chapter, we're going to explore how to handle change with confidence, how to stay flexible when things don't go as planned, and how adaptability is one of the strongest traits of a growth mindset. Because truth is, if you can learn to bend, you won't break. Change is a part of growth. You can't grow and stay the same. Growth requires new habits, new thoughts, new environments, new challenges. All of those come with change. So if you want to grow, you have to accept this truth. Change isn't a threat. It's a signal that growth is near. The quicker you embrace that, the faster you rise. Why people struggle with change. Change feels scary because it's unknown. It's unpredictable. It's outside your control. It shakes up your routine. The human brain loves patterns. It loves knowing what to expect. It wants comfort and control. So when change hits, your brain sounds the alarm. You feel fear. You feel resistance. You want to cling to the familiar, but what if change wasn't danger? What if it was development? What adaptability really means? Adaptability doesn't mean you like change. It means you respond well to it. It means you can stay calm in chaos, think clearly in uncertainty, adjust when the plan falls apart, stay committed even when the path shifts. Adaptable people don't fight change. They flow with it. They don't say, "This ruined everything." They ask, "How can I make this work?" That shift in thinking makes all the difference. The growth mindset. View of change. Here's how a growth mindset sees change. This is hard, but it's helping me evolve. I didn't plan this, but I can learn from it. This challenge is a test, and I'm ready. Instead of shrinking, you expand. Instead of running, you reset. Instead of quitting, you pivot. Growth-minded people aren't stuck in their ways. They're committed to the outcome, but flexible with the path. That's real power. Life is a series of adjustments. Think about it. You plan to exercise, but it rains. You adjust and work out at home. You set goals, but your job changes. You shift your routine and keep going. You expect support, but someone lets you down. You learn to motivate yourself anyway. Life never happens exactly how you imagined, and that's okay. The plan is allowed to change, as long as the purpose stays the same. How to build adaptability like a muscle. Yes, you can train yourself to be more adaptable. Here's how. Practice letting go of control. Not everything is yours to manage. Let go of other people's actions, external outcomes, perfect timing, exact plans. Focus on what you can control: your effort, your mindset, your reactions, your attitude. Freedom lives there. Run small experiments. Try doing things a new way. Take a different route home. Work from a new location. Change your morning routine. Tackle a problem from a fresh angle. These small shifts train your brain to stay flexible. You stop fearing change and start welcoming it. Pause and breathe before reacting. When change hits, the first reaction is usually emotional. Pause. Take a breath. Ask, what's really happening here? What part of this can I influence? What's my best move forward? That space between stimulus and response is where adaptability is born. Stay curious, not judgmental. Instead of saying, this shouldn't have happened, say, what is this trying to teach me? What's the opportunity here? What strength am I building? Curiosity keeps your mind open. Judgment shuts it down. Adaptability in real life. Here are some powerful examples. A teacher learns new technology during a sudden switch to online classes and ends up enjoying it. A small business owner loses half their clients, so they shift online and double their reach. A student fails a test, but asks for feedback, adjusts study methods, and aces the next one. An athlete gets injured and spends that time building mindset, knowledge, and leadership skills. Each story could have ended in frustration. Instead, it ended in growth because of adaptability. The role of identity. Sometimes change feels hard because it challenges your identity, but I'm the organized one. I'm not good at speaking up. I don't handle pressure well. Let go of the label. Say instead, I'm someone who adapts. I can learn new things. I'm not stuck in any one version of myself. Adaptable people allow themselves to evolve. They let go of old stories so they can step into new ones. How to stay adaptable. During big life changes, some changes shake your whole world. Moving to a new place, losing a job, a relationship ending, a health issue, a dream falling apart. In those moments, accept first. You can't change what you don't accept. Say, this is where I am. This is real. Now what? Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It means you stop fighting reality so you can start changing it. Grieve the old. It's okay to miss the old life, old routines, old expectations. Feel it, honor it, then release it. Only then can you move forward clearly. Rebuild. Bit by bit, don't rush. Start small. One healthy habit. One helpful connection. One new goal. Brick by brick, you create your next chapter. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. The reward of adaptability. People who adapt stay calm in crisis. Solve problems faster, recover quicker from setbacks, see opportunity where others see obstacles, keep growing, even when the world shifts. In a world that's always changing, being adaptable makes you unstoppable. You don't crumble, you adjust. You don't complain, you create. You don't freeze, you move. What adaptability is not? It's not being passive, avoiding structure, giving up your standards, letting others walk over you. Adaptability is strength, not weakness. It's clarity, not confusion. It's being smart enough to shift and strong enough to stay grounded. Chapter 15, The Never-Ending Journey, Growth as a Way of Life. You've come a long way. You've learned about mindset, effort, curiosity, habits, and discipline. You faced your fears, embraced discomfort, and adapted to change. But here's the truth. This is not the end. It's only the beginning. Because growth isn't a finish line. It's not something you complete. Growth is a way of living, a mindset you carry with you every day. In this final chapter, we'll explore how to keep growing forever. Growth is a lifestyle, not a goal. Most people treat growth like a project. They say, I'll work on myself for the next 30 days. I'll fix this one problem and then I'm done. I'll read these books and I'll be set. But growth doesn't work that way. Growth isn't a weekend challenge. It's a lifelong journey. You don't grow so you can stop growing. You grow so you can keep going. You get better so you can handle more, learn more, and serve more. The journey never ends, and that's a good thing. You'll never arrive. There will always be a new habit to build, a new fear to face, a new challenge to rise to, a new version of yourself to meet. This isn't a burden. It's a gift, because as long as you're growing, you're alive, you're learning, you're moving forward, and that's what makes life meaningful. Who you become matters more than what you achieve. You might hit goals, you might earn awards, you might get the success you imagined. But none of it matters if you don't like the person you've become. The real win is becoming wiser, stronger, kinder, clearer, more grounded, more present. That's the reward of growth, not just achievement, but alignment. When your actions match your values, you become someone you respect, and that feels better than any trophy. Daily growth. Big transformations. It's easy to chase big changes. I want a total life reset. I want to become a whole new person. I need everything to change right now. But real growth isn't always dramatic. It's quiet. It's simple. It's small steps taken consistently. Journaling for 5 minutes, saying no when it matters, reflecting on your day, practicing patience with someone you love, trying again after a failure. These moments might feel tiny, but over time, they build the strongest foundation. How to keep the growth going. You've learned a lot. Now let's talk about how to stay on the path. Keep asking questions. Curiosity is fuel for growth. Keep asking, what can I learn from this? What am I missing here? What's the next step for me? The moment you stop being curious is the moment you stop growing. Stay a student forever. Stay around growth-minded people. You become like the people you spend time with. So surround yourself with those who challenge you, support your dreams, encourage effort, celebrate progress, aren't afraid to grow with you. A strong mindset gets stronger when it's shared. Reflect. Often. Growth isn't just doing more, it's also stopping to reflect. Ask yourself, what did I do well this week? What challenged me? Where did I grow? Where do I need more patience? Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Without it, you miss the lesson. Celebrate small wins. You don't have to wait until the end to feel proud. Every step matters. You kept a promise to yourself. You tried again after failing. You stayed calm during stress. You took care of your body and mind. That's winning. Celebrate it. The more you appreciate your own growth, the more motivated you'll be to keep going. Don't chase perfection, chase progress. You'll never be perfect. That's not the goal. The goal is to be better. Better than yesterday, better than last month, better than the old version of you. Perfection makes you feel like you're failing. Progress makes you feel powerful. So track your growth. Notice the small shifts. Feel the difference. That's what counts. Keep your vision alive. You started this journey for a reason. Maybe you were tired of feeling stuck. Maybe you wanted to be more confident. Maybe you wanted to take control of your life. Whatever your why is, don't forget it. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Keep it close. Because the path gets hard, and when it does, your vision is what pulls you forward. Growth isn't linear. Let's be real. You will have setbacks, doubts, off days, moments of confusion, times when you wonder if you're even growing at all. That's normal. Growth doesn't move in a straight line. It moves in curves, in loops, in spirals. But as long as you keep showing up, you are still growing, even when it's not obvious, even when it's messy, even when you can't see it yet. Teach what you've learned. One of the best ways to grow deeper is to share what you've learned. Help a friend through something hard. Encourage someone starting their journey. Teach your younger self through others. When you teach, you remember. When you serve, you strengthen. Your growth becomes someone else's hope. You already have what it takes. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until the fear goes away. Don't wait for a perfect moment. The tools are already inside you. Your effort, your mindset, your curiosity, your resilience, your courage, your voice. You are not empty. You are equipped. All that's left is to keep going. Final words. Keep learning, keep winning. Let's end where we began. You are not fixed. You are not finished. You are not stuck. You are a learner, a grower, a builder, a student of life. There is no final destination, only deeper understanding, stronger wisdom, more powerful growth. So take everything you've learned and use Rewire and see it, live it, share it, grow with it. And no matter what happens, keep learning, keep winning, keep becoming. This is your journey, and it never ends.